Brain of Britain, the nationwide general knowledge contest, chaired by Russell Davies.
Thank you. What a lovely sound. And hello. You join us at the Radio Theatre in London, where you're most welcome to the first heat in the 2019 season of Brain of Britain. All the way through to the summer, we'll be meeting 48 competitors from all walks of life and all corners of the UK. And what they have in common is that they harbour a hope of becoming this year's Brain of Britain champion. Let's meet the first 4 of our contenders this year.
Hello, I'm Gareth Aubrey, a planning and environmental law solicitor from Cardiff.
I'm David CROLY, a library assistant from London.
Hi, I'm Daniel ISENBERG and I'm a barrister from London.
Hello, I'm Caroline Latham, a semi-retired drama teacher from Romford in East London.
Thank you. Brain of Britain is a knockout tournament, so today's outright winner will be returning for the semi-finals in June. But it pays to go for every point you can get, because there are also semi-final places reserved for the 4 runners-up with the highest scores across the series. We go in alphabetical order of surname, and your turn continues until you get a question wrong or can't answer, or until you've scored 5 in a row, in which event you'll get a bonus point. Hope that's all clear. So, will you kick off the 2019 season, please? Gareth Aubrey. In the Old Testament, when Samson smote the Philistines, he did so using the jawbone of which animal?
A sheep.
It wasn't, I'm afraid, no. Caroline Latham?
An ass.
An ass or donkey, the jawbone of an ass, yes, indeed. David CROLY, your turn now. In Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, the satirical TV shows about the inner workings of government, what was the name of the politician played by Paul Eddington?
Jim Hacker.
It was. Who wrote the short story or novella, The Loneliness of the Long-Distance Runner?
No.
No, right. Caroline Latham
Alan Stillito.
is the right answer, yes. Perhaps best known for his debut novel, Saturday Night and Sunday Morning. Daniel ISENBERG, your turn now. What name was given to the US government research project that ran from 1942 to 45 and produced the first atomic bombs?
The Manhattan Project?
It was. Which word that first appeared in Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky poem in 1871 is defined in the Oxford English Reference Dictionary as both a verb meaning chuckle gleefully and as a noun meaning a gleeful chuckle?
Chortle?
Chortle is right, yes. Thought to be a combination of chuckle and snort. The title of the best-selling Japanese author Haruki Murakami's 2007 memoir is What I Talk About When I Talk About What?
Myself?
No. Nobody's read this one. Gareth Aubrey, possibly.
Death.
No. Worth a go, though? No, not going to happen. Running is the answer, because Murakami is a serious runner. He's completed numerous marathons. Caroline Latham, your turn now at last. Which novel of 1900 ends with the words, "And oh, Aunt Em, I'm so glad to be at home again"?
Pollyanna.
No. Right era, but no. Gareth Aubrey?
Ulysses.
No. Nobody's going to have a go. No. It's The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, or Baum, or even Baum, apparently, in his homeland. And that's the end of the very first round of this contest. Gareth Aubrey has yet to trouble the scorer. David CROLY has 1. Daniel ISENBERG and Caroline Latham, 2 apiece. Good. Gareth Aubrey, back to you immediately. A regular dodecahedron has 12 identical faces, all of which shape?
Hexagons.
No, they're not, I'm afraid. Caroline Latham?
Pentagons.
Pentagons is right, yep. David CROLY, what kind of establishment was founded by Scottish emigrant Alan Pinkerton in Chicago in 1850?
No.
No. Daniel ISENBERG?
A university?
No. Caroline Latham?
A detective agency.
The Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Yes, you are right. Daniel Eisenberg's turn now. If, in no particular order, you crossed the Charles Bridge, walked down Golden Lane, strolled round the Mucha Museum, and climbed the 186 steps of the Powder Tower, which European city would you be in?
Vienna?
No. Gareth Aubrey?
Prague.
Yes, they're all sightseeing attractions in the Czech capital. Caroline Latham, we come to you. The reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein were working for which newspaper at the time of their investigation into what became known as the Watergate scandal?
The Washington Post.
Correct, yes. What common component of gunpowder has also regularly been used in the preservation of meat?
Saltpeter.
Yes, potassium nitrate, still used in some food applications such as charcuterie, and the brine used to make corned beef, of all things. A strange aspect of the horse world is that in Britain and some other countries, the height of horses is traditionally measured in an archaic system of measurement known as hands. How many inches are there in one hand?
4.
Yes, a 4-inch hand is roughly the breadth of a man's hand, with or without the thumbs, it says here, unhelpfully. Who composed the symphonic work Harold in Italy, commissioned by the violinist Niccolò Paganini?
Berlioz.
He did, yes. Chiselbury Public School was central to which British sitcom?
I don't know.
Right. I don't think anybody else is going to know. No sign of a light? No. It's television of long ago, I'm afraid. Wacko is the name. The British sitcom TV series starring Jimmy Edwards as a headmaster, written by Frank Muir and Dennis Norden. End of a round again. Gareth Aubrey and David CROLY are now 1 apiece. Daniel Eisenberg 2. Caroline Latham has leapt up to 8. Okay, Gareth Aubrey, let's see what you make of this one. You get a piece of pop music with this next question. Listen carefully, and I'll ask the question afterwards.
Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie.
That was the song Valerie, which you may remember being a big hit for Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson in 2007. However, you heard the original version by the band who wrote it and who also had a top 10 hit with it the previous year. Can you name the band?
The Zootons.
Correct. Yes, following The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and The Girl Who Played with Fire, what is the title of the third novel in Stieg Larsson's Millennium Trilogy?
The Girl Who Cried Wolf.
No. Challenge for somebody? It'll be Caroline Latham then.
The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest.
Correct in every particular. Yes, indeed. Well done. David CROLY. Malcolm McDowell played the part of Mick Travis in 3 films directed by Lindsay Anderson. If in 1968, Britannia Hospital in 1982, and which other film released in 1973?
Clockwork Orange?
No. Any offers? No offers. No, you don't remember the film Oh Lucky Man! Exclamation mark. We'll go on then to Daniel Eisenberg's question. In the 2018 US Open Women's Final, after being docked a game and calling the umpire a thief, Serena Williams was beaten 6-2, 6-4 by which Japanese player?
Pass, I'm afraid.
Okay, Gareth Aubrey.
Naomi Osaka.
Yes, she was the first Japanese player to win a Grand Slam singles title, and in doing so, she denied Williams a record 24th title. And it was no flash in the pan because she won this year's Australian Open in January. Caroline Latham, your turn. The construction of the Taj Mahal took place in which century?
17th.
Yes. A surprise to me, it was completed in most of its essentials in 1643 when the English Civil War was in progress. Which British-born broadcaster am I describing? Born in Salford in 1908, the son of a Wesleyan Methodist lay preacher, he worked as a film critic on BBC Radio during the 1930s before starting the extremely long-running series with which he is most closely identified.
Alistair Cook?
Yes, the series, of course, was Letter from America. He was born Alfred Cook, but he changed it to Alistair in 1930. In 1993, Janet Reno became the first woman to hold which public position in the United States?
Head of the FBI?
She wasn't that, no. Gareth Aubrey.
Attorney General.
That's the right answer, yes, indeed. End of another round. Here are the scores. David CROLY 1, Daniel Eisenberg now 2, Gareth Aubrey 4, Caroline Latham 11. Well, while we digest that, we've reached the point of the programme where we traditionally pause and give our brains a breather. We'll still be asking them questions, but these particular ones won't affect the scores. The honour of providing the questions for the opening programme of the series goes to Diana England, who, you might remember, was a semi-finalist in last year's series and who lives near Penrith in Cumbria. If Diana succeeds in beating the brains, she'll be receiving a book voucher prize. Our competitors can forget their rivalry for now and combine forces to see if they can deal with Diana's questions and thwart her attempt to win the prize. So if you're ready, here comes Diana England's first question. Samuel Langhorne Clemens is one of the USA's most famous literary icons, better known to the world, of course, as Mark Twain. But what reason did he give for adopting the pseudonym Mark Twain?
Mississippi, and he said Mississippi was there for a lot. Don't know any more than that. It's something to do with measuring the depth of the Mississippi, and I think he felt the Mississippi was an important river.
Yes, but it doesn't explain the name Mark Twain, which is, I think, what we really need. Are you going to press on, or are you going to give up at that point?
That's as far as I can press
on. Right,
on.
okay, you can't elaborate on that. Okay, well, it comes as his days as a river pilot on the Mississippi. That's fair enough. When a depth of water is being sounded out for a boat, a cry of Mark Twain means the depth is 2 fathoms, or 12 feet, and thus safe for navigation. Hence Mark Twain. Anyway, here's question 2. The Tony Awards are Broadway's most prestigious honour. After whom are the Tony Awards named?
It's Antoinette somebody, but I don't know her surname.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely female, but it still doesn't always get a surname.
I think we're stuck for a surname.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it comes from her first name of Antoinette, but somebody else thought Antonia.
I'll give you that. That's true. You're very close in both cases, but no cigar, I'm afraid. The award's proper title is the Antoinette Perry Awards for Excellence in Broadway Theatre, Tony Awards for short. She was an actress, stage director, philanthropist, who was a founder of the American Theatre Wing Professional School after the Second World War, which went on to launch the careers of such as Bob Fosse, Angela Lansbury, James Earl Jones. So, slightly to my surprise, I must say, well done, Diana England. You managed to defeat the brains with your questions, and we'll get you your prize very, very soon. In the meantime, all of us here at the Radio Theatre send you this England World Cup-style round of applause. Very lifelike. Yes, thank you to everyone who's sent us question ideas over the past year or so. We've very much enjoyed looking at them, and we'll be including many of the best ones in the weeks to come. But you can send ideas to us at any time by email to brainofbritain@bbc.co.uk or on paper to Brain of Britain, Dock House, Media City, Salford M50 2LH. Back to the contest then, and back to the rivalry. And the next round starts with you again, Gareth Aubrey. The Victoria and Albert Museum opened a second museum in September 2018. In which British city?
Liverpool.
No, not on this occasion. David CROLY?
Newcastle.
No. Daniel Eisenberg?
York.
No. Complete the tour for us, Caroline.
Manchester?
No, it was Dundee, further north than any of you. David Crowley, you're about to hear part of a film soundtrack from 1996. In which Shakespearean adaptation will you find this?
Young hearts, run free, never be hung up like my man and me. Oh, young heart, to yourself be true. Don't be no fool. Love really don't love you. Said I don't love you.
Really haven't got a clue. Sorry.
Right. Daniel Eisenberg.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, it was. Directed by Baz Luhrmann. The theme we heard is an adaptation of the disco hit Young Hearts Run Free, which was sung on the film soundtrack by Kim Mazel. Daniel Eisenberg, epistemophilia is derivation of pleasure from the acquisition of what?
Knowledge.
Yes, something all of you know all about. Who was found at Ujiji in 1871?
Pass.
Right, Gareth Aubrey.
Livingston.
Dr. Livingston, he presumes, yes. On his return to Ujiji after severe illness, Livingston was found by Henry Morton Stanley, sent to look for him by the New York Herald. Caroline Latham now. Which thick, hearty Italian soup, a speciality of the Tuscany region of Italy, has a name that translates as boiled again?
I don't know.
Right. I'm sure you must have eaten it, one of you, but you don't remember the name? No? Nobody does. It's called ribollita, containing bread, beans, and vegetables. Sometimes too thick to be called a soup, actually. End of a round. David Crowley 1, Daniel Eisenberg 4, Gareth Aubrey 5, Caroline Latham still on 11. All right, Gareth Aubrey. The film Scott of the Antarctic famously had a score by Ralph Vaughan Williams. For its 50th anniversary in 1998, the British Antarctic Survey commissioned a new piece of music from a contemporary British composer, whose Antarctic Symphony, his 8th, resulted from this commission.
Harrison Birtwistle.
It wasn't, no. Any more composers? David Crowley?
Jonathan Dove.
Nope. More composers? No, shakes of heads. It was Sir Peter Maxwell Davies, who died in 2016. We move on to David Crowley. Which football club, currently in the Premier League, was known until the 1970s as the Glaziers?
No.
No, fair enough. Gareth Aubrey?
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. And when you imagine that, you can see why, yes. It was indeed. Daniel Eisenberg, there's music with your next question, and I'll ask you about it after we've heard it. Now, that orchestral piece is based on the traditional English folk song Brig Fair, and it's by which Yorkshire-born composer?
Britain.
No. Caroline Latham?
Eric Coates.
No. Shakes of heads. It's Delius, Frederick Delius, born in Bradford and baptized as Fritz Delius, as a matter of fact. Caroline Latham, Jugendstil is the German name for which art movement?
Art Deco.
No. David Crowley?
Bauhaus.
No. Daniel Eisenberg?
Impressionism.
No. Gareth Aubrey?
Art Nouveau.
Yes. Well done. At last we got there. And the round ends with these as the scores. David Crowley 1, Daniel Eisenberg 4, Gareth Aubrey 7, Caroline Latham still stuck, although not unhealthily stuck, on 11. Back to Gareth Aubrey. Which video game launched in 2017 with over 125 million players worldwide was summarized in a newspaper article as a mass online brawl where 100 players leap out of a flying bus onto a small island and then fight each other until only one is left?
Fortnite.
Yes. Dreary spectacle it is, speaking as one who's been exposed to it domestically. In 2015, the Missouri-born African-American performer Misty Copeland made history in which field of the arts?
Ballet.
Yes, she was the first African-American dancer to be promoted to principal in the 75-year history of the prestigious American Ballet Theatre. What do you need to add to an espresso coffee to make it into an espresso romano?
Cream.
No. No, shakes of heads again. No. It's nothing more than lemon peel, or a lemon slice if you must. David Crowley. Edwin Morgan from 2004 to 2010. Liz Lockhead from 2011 to 2016. And Jackie Kay in 2016. What official position, first created in 2004, have these three writers all held?
No.
No. Caroline Latham.
I think they're called the Macar. They're the Poet Laureates of Scotland.
That's exactly what it says here, the Macar. M-A-K-A-R is the way they spell it. Daniel Eisenberg. A blue plaque at 7 Gower Street, London, WC1, commemorates the founding in 1848 of which artistic movement?
Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood?
Correct, yes. In the periodic table of elements, what collective name that derives from the Greek meaning to escape notice is given to the consecutive, chemically similar metallic elements with the atomic numbers 57 to 71?
I don't know, I'm afraid.
Okay. Caroline Latham.
Lanthanides.
Yes, or lanthanoids indeed, but that's, generally speaking, the right answer. Caroline Latham, your question. Time for a question with music indeed. Running for 80 episodes over 9 series, Dad's Army, written by Jimmy Perry and David Croft, remains one of the most popular TV comedies of all time. You're about to hear its theme song, and I'd just like to know who the singer is.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done?
Terribly familiar, but who was it?
Bud Flanagan.
It was, of the partnership Flanagan and Allen. 2 Bolton Gardens in Kensington was the unloved birthplace in 1866 of which children's writer and illustrator?
Edward Lear.
No. Daniel Eisenberg.
J.M. Barrie?
No? Children's writers, folks? No. Not coming. It was Beatrix Potter. Of course, much more at home in the Lake District. We always imagine her there. End of the round. David Crowley still on 1. Daniel Eisenberg 5. Gareth Aubrey 9. Caroline Latham now 14. And this, folks, fair warning, has to be the final round of the contest. Gareth Aubrey. Daubenton's, Brants and Leislers are 3 species of which British mammal?
Hedgehog.
No. Daniel Eisenberg.
Otter?
Not otter? Yes, David Crowley.
Badger.
No. Caroline Latham.
Shrew.
No. It's bats. They're all bats. There are so many different sorts of bats, I suppose that makes sense. David Crowley, which Wimbledon men's singles champion is probably the most widely known supporter of the football team FC Basel?
Roger Federer.
Yes, he was born in that Swiss city in 1981. Robert Devereux, who was executed in 1601, held what aristocratic title?
Earl of Dundee, was it? No.
It wasn't, I'm afraid, no. Gareth Aubrey.
Earl of Essex.
Earl of Essex, second Earl of Essex, yes, the long-standing favourite of Elizabeth I, executed for leading a failed coup against the government. Daniel Eisenberg, one of the most popular TV series of all time, the American TV sitcom Friends, consisted of 236 episodes, nearly all of which had titles that began with which two words?
The One.
The One, yes. For example, the one where no one proposes and the one with Rachel's new dress. What would you have difficulty doing if you were suffering from dysphagia?
Eating.
Yes, I'll accept eating. Swallowing, essentially, is the real difficulty, but it involves eating, yes. It's from the Greek for eating, after all. In which film drama of 1957 were the main characters referred to by numbers, not names?
Pass.
Aha. Gareth Aubrey.
12 Angry Men.
Yes, Henry Fonda played juror number 8, Lee J. Cobb played juror number 3, and so on. Caroline Latham comes now. In the radio series The Goon Show, which entertainer usually voiced the phrase, "He's fallen in the water"?
Harry Seacombe.
No. David CROLY.
Spike Milligan.
Yes, providing the voice of Little Jim. If I'd gone, "He's fallen in the water," you might have got it more readily, but that's certainly the right answer. And it's also the end of this first heat of Reign of Britain 2019 with the final scores as follows. David CROLY 3, Daniel Eisenberg 7, Gareth Aubrey 11, Caroline Latham 14. Very well done, Caroline Latham. We'll definitely be seeing you again in the semi-finals in the summer. And as I mentioned, we also invite the 4 highest scoring runners-up of the series back for the semi-finals, so all may not be lost for Gareth Aubrey, who came with a late run there. Of course, there's a long way to go before we'll be sure. But well done, all of you, anyway. 4 more competitors embark on their Brain of Britain campaigns next time. I hope you'll be listening. Until then, goodbye.